All right, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in this vast, wondrous world it is that you may or may not happen to be. Welcome once more to another live stream of Alexandra Mayers Live. It's me, your hostess, Alexandra. And this is just a stream of me venting, decompressing, attempting to relax and share my thoughts after a fairly long day. I won't say today was a bad day. It was a mixed emotion day. It was a day of me getting confirmation on some things, reaching a conclusion upon some things that are completely out of my control, but also it was a day of me getting some things accomplished that I needed to get accomplished. So I would say it's probably been a balanced day. But today was a day that I realized that once I decide to settle wherever I settle, I am going to get a dog, probably more than one, being that I have very little to do in my life and a lot of attention to give to something. And considering that I'm a little disenchanted with humans at this point, a dog might be the right fit, or multiple dogs. um, Today, after a long day and after a certain relatively trying situation upon visiting some family, I returned to where I'm staying, and the dog where I'm staying greeted me. At first, the dog didn't know it was me. And this particular dog, it's a very nice dog, if it likes you. It's a mixed breed, and it definitely has got to have some pit bull or Rottweiler in it. But this dog has been nothing but sweet and nice to me basically since I've been here. So I'm lucky that this dog likes me, because I wouldn't want to be somebody that this dog doesn't like. But even though I'm not a super dog person, the only dog that I've had that I've connected with has been a little Shih Tzu that I had from puppydom to her passing. It was a dog named Panda. She really looked like a little panda bear. She was the cutest little dog. But that was the only dog that I had from basically birth to death. But I'm ready to get a dog again, and I'm going to tell you why. Because as humans, we need dogs or pets in general sometimes to take us out of our heads. Now, here's what I'm going to say. If you have a screen name, and this is before I continue, if you have a screen name that has anything to do with demons or anything negative, I'm blocking you, because I don't, or I'm banning you, because I don't want to look at anything negative. Come up with another screen name, something positive. If you want to feed into my ego, name your screen name something like Alexandra is on the path to being fulfilled, or Alexandra is full of good energy, something like that. Or it could just be something like, hi, I'm a friendly face. Just name yourself something like that. Nothing like Damien. And for God's sake, please don't name your child Damien. That translates to demon or devil. Don't call yourself something like Jack ASS. I don't want to see that. I want to see something that I either don't know what the initials are for or something positive. That's it. Thank you. So, anyway, getting back to talking about dogs. So, this particular dog, at first it didn't know it was me because you have to park where I'm staying kind of far from, it's not too far, but it's kind of far for me because I'm a 47-year-old woman. But I had to park. I could hear the dog barking because I heard unfamiliar person and the owner wasn't home. But then I think it recognized my footsteps or my gait as I walk. So the dog stopped barking and then just stood near the entrance, wagging its little tail, like, "Hi, how are you doing today, Alexandra?" And I saw the dog and I was like, I had a little bit of a rough day, but I'll give you a treat. So I felt like the dog needed a treat, and the place where I'm staying, they love their dog very much, and they provide their guests with treats for the dog. So I made my way back to the area of the property where I'm staying, and I came and I put my stuff down, and I came back out with a treat for the dog, and I'm like, "Hey, you want the treat?" And the dog didn't want the treat. And I thought to myself, "Really? Hmm, this is different." Because I thought the dog was just being friendly because it wanted the treat. But I think this might be a super smart and empathic dog because I did have a rough day today. I'm not going to get into exactly why. But I sat down in the little patio area and started looking at my phone. And I was feeling down. I think the dog knew I was feeling down. The dog came and sat next to me. And something at that moment just kind of made the floodgates open for the tears. And I cried. And I think the dog knew I just needed to cry because the dog kind of nuzzled me and was like, "It's okay, Alexandra. Life is hard." That's how I think the dog sounds in its mind. So I felt better, and I tried to give the dog a treat again, and it still didn't want the treat. So then the dog went and grabbed this little toy, came back, and I took the toy and I threw it, and the dog ran and got it, brought it back. And then I offered the dog a treat again, and then it wanted the treat. So that's a cool dog, and I'll tell you why. Because I think that dog in a previous life was probably a human, if there's such a thing as a previous life. And I'm not so sure that there is. Actually, I kind of doubt it. But maybe if the dog has a future life, it'll be a human. And it'll be a really nice guy who's sympathetic and empathic when it comes to middle-aged women going through things in life. Because that dog today didn't make me feel like it was only nice to me because it wanted a treat. It made me feel like it was nice to me because it just liked me. And that was cool. So at some point, probably not this year, maybe not even next year, because I do have traveling planned. Not really planned, but loosely planned. But at some point, I'm going to get a dog. And before I was thinking that, and see, I have to pause again. There's someone in the chat who I don't know who you are, but you've been around and you have been nice to me. But I have a rule. There are now 8 people. It used to be 7 people, but 8 people, to where if you have any affiliation with them, if you're even in their chat, I don't want your energy around me. I just don't. But now there's another name I have to add to the list. And I don't dislike you, whoever you are. I'm going to even put your little comment on the screen so you know I'm talking to you. I don't dislike you. I just am guarding myself at this point. You can come back on an alt, but you're banned. Okay, don't get mad. It's just I have to look out for myself because I'm basically by myself in this world. And I'm tired of people not respecting my boundaries, not acknowledging my thoughts, feelings, emotions, and just not being who they should be with me. Because I don't really seek anybody out at this point. I don't. I'm available to people if they need me, but I'm just becoming more of a solo person than ever before. I'm not saying I dislike all people, because that's not the case. But my tolerance level is very low. And my boundaries are very high. That's what it is. And I've been through a lot. I would say that my standpoint and my perspective and where I'm seated in life right now is pretty justifiable. You know, someone who I met recently, I realized needed a certain form of media for their social media presence. And what their particular skill is, they're very good at what they do, extremely so. And I just met the person, but I could see right away that they were really good at their particular skill set. It's actually their talent. And they were telling me about their business they were trying to start and everything. And I was like, well, I'm going to be in this area for X amount of days. I could help you promote yourself. And in your case, because you're so gifted, and I know it's going to take very minimal effort on my end, I'll do it for free. And I think that they were a little skeptical at first, or like, oh, what's she going to want out of it, blah, blah, blah. And where I am in my life right now, I don't need anything from anybody material wise. I'm very blessed. I'm actually going to play a gospel song for some of you at the end of the stream that a minister friend of mine recommended to me, called God Has Smiled on Me. There's multiple versions of the song, but there's a particular a particular version of it from a woman. I think her name is Jessica Reedy or Jessica Reddy. She did a really good job with the song. So I'm going to play it for y'all at the end of this. But anyway, this person who I met, I just knew that they needed my skill set to add to their success. So I gave them, I told them, I'm like, okay, I'm free on whatever day is out, whatever time. And if you want me to help you, I'll help you. So they reached out and we did an amazing project for the promotion of what they're doing. It didn't turn out perfect. I mean, if I'd had at least 3 days to work with this person, it would have turned out perfect. But, time constraints, and they don't know me from Adam, really. So I was just like, let me just do for them what I can do. So got it done, but it wasn't perfect the first edition. And they came back to me. They were like, I really don't want to ask you to tweak anything, but But I didn't mind. And I'll tell you why I do this kind of thing for people sometimes. And I'm being kind of vague as to what it is, but sometimes I give people my gift simply due to my appreciating, seeing them appreciate what I've gifted to them. Because when it comes to my skill set for a few things, I'm very expensive. I just am. If I were to charge, and sometimes I do charge, but no matter what I've done in my life, when I really think about it, I've always been very expensive. And I'll tell you why I believe that might be. Both of my parents, my living parent, my mother, and my dearly departed father, who passed away March 9th, 2025, both of them have impeccable taste, extremely classy individuals, much more so than I could ever be. I believe both my parents are likely genius level. I know for a fact my father was a genius IQ wise. I suspect my mother as well. Both more balanced than most. Logical, yet appreciative of the art. Both of them willing to play the game much more so than I am when it comes to society, but both still freedom fighters and being people who want to assert their individuality and fight for what's right and not play the game at times. So, if any of you have ever wondered how I ever came to be this way, I really couldn't be any other way, considering what I come from. And I really don't think that I'm nearly as potent or gifted or intelligent or talented or amazing as either of my parents. Not at all. But because both my parents were the way that they were, and I think my dad is still the same in death, and my mom definitely is still the same. They both had very expensive taste, extremely so. Now, I don't have expensive taste. I'm more of a hippie. Anyone who knows me well knows this about me. I have always been blessed financially. I am super blessed. Thank God, because I'm kind of stupid in some ways. So I need that money to help me sometimes. But I'm not frivolous. I'm frugal and I'm simple. That's where I differ from both my parents. That neither of them liked that hippie sort of thing, but I have an aunt who was similar to me. May she rest in peace too. But she knew when I was about 12 that I have a hippie spirit. That's how I learned about hippies. She told me. She was like, "You're a little hippie girl." And I'm like, "What's that?" But anyway, even though I'm not a materialist, my skill set is very expensive, extremely so. And not everybody can afford my skill set. And I knew for a fact this particular person couldn't. But that's why they deserved my skill set. So I did my thing for them. And the completed project, they loved it. I haven't seen somebody love my skill set that much in a long time. And it felt good. And that was the payment for me at that moment. And whenever I think about that moment for the rest of my life. Now, that's not how it goes for everybody, because I know everybody doesn't appreciate my particular skill set. But this person did. And I think that what I contributed, and I didn't even put my name or brand on it, nothing. Nothing. And I'm going to tell them that they need to make sure that they don't. But I just know it's going to help with what they're doing. Because sometimes a person needs to be seen through eyes like mine. And that's what makes my skill set what it is, my perspective. Perspective is interesting. It's very interesting. I think that's why I like animals, why I value interactions with animals, why I appreciate getting to know certain animals. Because an animal's insight generally is very pure. And I've had some interesting situations with animals in my life. I've had some situations to where I've been around animals that normally were aggressive toward people, but they weren't toward me. And I've had that consistent experience with aggressive animals. And I think it's because the animals know I don't want to do anything to them. I don't want to hurt them. I really don't want to hurt anybody, despite what certain people have unjustly put out there about me. And I'll tell you, the hereafter is real. And I think that energies can reach over from the other side. I felt a little bit of that today. A little something I dealt with today. I felt my dad around me because the way I reacted to a certain situation, it wasn't just me. It was definitely my dad coming through me, dealing with the situation and basically saying, I've seen this before. It ain't nothing. So that was interesting. But let me go ahead and play this gospel song for y'all. I noticed on my little chat monitor some people who are definitely not of God tried to infiltrate my chat. But you know what's interesting? They weren't able to come in here. Whatever Google does to screen things screened it out for me. So that's cool. Thank you, Google. You rock. All right, let's find the song. Where is the song? Here it is. Yeah, Jessica Reedy. This is a song called God Has Smiled on Me. It was initially a song put together by a pastor or a minister. Let me tell you the history of this song from what I can find. That would be a good idea. It was recommended to me tonight by a family friend and a minister. Okay, Reverend James Cleveland seems to be the one who first put the song out, himself and his choir. But this is a remake, and I think it's nice. I like it. Jessica Reedy. I don't know anything about her, but she has a nice voice. So enjoy this song. I'm going to go ahead and go now, but I'll close you out. I won't play the whole song, but some of it. So here we go.
God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Oh, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. God has smiled on me. Been smiling on me. He has set me free. Oh, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. He's been good. He is the source of all my joy. He fills me with His love. Everything that I ever needed. See, the Lord sends it down from above. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Oh, God has been so good. He has been so good. He's been good to me. One day I was in my room and I wasn't feeling you. I said, Father, are you there? I'm feeling real scared. So I got down on my knees as I began to pray, hoping that the Lord heard what I had to say. I said, I started begging, I said, pleading, and I got on my knees. So as I began to cry, he said, I never left your side. I've been right here all along, so you can dry your eyes. Keep seeking me like I knew you would, praising me like you know you could. That's when I realized that He's so good. My God is good. He's been good to me.
So that's a nice song. If you want to listen to the whole thing, you can do a search on YouTube for Jessica Reedy, Reedy. The name of that song was God Has Smiled on Me. She has a nice voice. She's a pretty lady, too. Looks like she's out of the Nashville area. You'd be surprised as to how much amazing gospel music comes out of the Nashville area. Really does. So let's see. Let's close out this live stream. So I had a trying day, but also a productive day. And I did achieve a few small successes today, so that was good. Realized that whenever I settle where I want to, I will be getting one or more dogs, because I'm definitely a dog person. I like taking care of animals, and I like the emotions that come from dogs. I think it's very nice. And I talked about my skill set being very expensive. But that's not my fault. That's my parents' fault because both my parents have very expensive taste. They definitely do. And I don't have expensive taste, but I'm a money generator. So if I ever decide to have expensive taste, I can afford it, which is a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's funny. A lot of things in life are funny. Life in general is funny because you cannot have comedy without tragedy, and that is what life is, the balance of comedy and tragedy. So, anyway, let me get going. Thank you for listening. I feel better upon venting. I've been rhyming a lot of my words lately. I swear, I think that I'm destined to be a Generation X rapper. I think that's what my rap name would be. I would call myself Generation X. And I'm going to go on American Idol and audition. Simon is going to be like, "Who the fuck are you, old bitch?" I'm going to be like, "I'm Generation X. And you're short with a small penis, which is the only reason you ever attained any level of success." Now, if you replay what I just said, that is a verse for a rap. It rhymed strangely. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for listening. Take care. Have a good week, rest of your week. Bye bye. And God bless.